All right, I don't know how far I'm going to get today. I'm actually a little further behind than I was hoping, but you pull up some stuff. This is besides the mess of the desk. Some USB A to female A to B male adapters. A USB B to B cable. Some 3M dual lock, and this PowerCon cable. This is just one more thing I want to use to simplify my my pedal board setup. And now I'm thinking, I might want to do a right angle. Like maybe I won't be able to push this up against wall as easily as I'd like. And here's a USB B to female A cable. This is all going to go in one of these 4-way patch panels from Bestronics. And so what I'm planning is I'll have a USB and the power on one side of this thing on my pedal board. You can plug in everything that needs to be plugged in. The other side's going to have the communication to the PA system and stuff. Or maybe I'll just put it all on one side. I'm not sure. I could put it in the back. I could put it in the sides. I just don't know where I should put it. I have it in the sides right now. It's never really made any trouble. And again, I'm thinking of going to a much smaller pedal board. I actually already bought it. The main thing holding me on the bigger pedal board is the in-ear monitor. But, I don't know. These things should work. These X5 things. Everybody else uses them just fine. Seem to be the only one that has trouble with them. So, who knows? Anyways, I'll figure that out in a little bit. I think I need to get nuts and bolts for my D panels. I don't know that I have any. All that said, Dan Worrall's got a new video up. This came from Matty Boy. He sent me a link to this video, and I watched part of it. I already commented on it a little bit. If you guys don't know Dan Worrall, he is an absolute expert in DSP and compressor usage. He clowned on me pretty hard for some early Reaper compressors, the original Recomp and stuff. And he showed what was wrong with it and what was right and what could be done to make it better. And we've actually incorporated his suggestions into our products, like Intuition, for instance. Anyway, I'm going to play his new video. It's called The Hardware Sound. And look, this is right up the alley of everything you talk about on evidence-based audio, all these magical myths and nonsense about magic beans that make your magic mic preamp do magic things that, of course, they'll never measure. So let's see what he has to say.
Hi, and welcome back. Every so often I get a question via email that simply can't be answered in a brief couple of sentences.
Okay, and I don't know if you guys ever remember that like depressed cat meme. It's been 7 days. My owner has yet to pet me. I'm going to die. I know Dan Worrall sounds like that guy, right?
This time it's actually 3 questions, plus an exhortation not to spend too long on my reply. Well, simply not possible, I'm afraid. Here's a clever trick, though. If I write my response as a video script, I can recategorize it from high-effort email response to low-effort content creation, and I'll ignore the fact that it's a little bit similar to a previous...
I think I threw a comment in here. Yeah. A couple of them, actually. All right.
Low-effort video on the basis that that was probably just as forgettable as this is going to be. Anyway, question 1.
How would you define hardware sound? Does it exist in the first place? Why does it seem so hard to reproduce in the digital realm?
Okay. So that's 3 different questions. The third one assumes a lot of things, and that's called begging the question, right? I mean, it assumes part of that assumes facts that aren't in evidence, that there is a digital sound or there is a hardware sound and it's hard to reproduce in the digital realm. Most like simple circuits have been easy to reproduce in the digital realm for a very long time. Resistor, capacitor stuff, EQs, you can make perfect EQs, you can make ideal ones. It was a little bit tricky to do distortions, at least at first. I think that kind of went out the window a while back. When it came to guitar amp modeling, it just turned out that you had to model a lot of different systems and make them interact the way they would in the real world. And, you know, the spice models seemed to work really well back in the day. The problem was getting it to something that you could do at zero or very low latency and at a DSP cost that we could actually afford. If we go way back to the Simul analog papers, I don't know if they even still exist, but I think that became what's overloud, like THU and all that. It was somebody's college research paper. Here we go. So it's still this web page. I mean, I think this web page was out in like 1999 or something. This was a set of free VST plugins that pretty accurately modeled some circuits out there. And it's a long time ago, 20 something years. So yes, it can be hard to reproduce some sounds, but a lot of times the sounds that they're saying they're trying to reproduce, they're not even the same from unit to unit. When these guys say, oh, this particular Neve 1272 or whatever, and then you can measure it and, you know, exactly replicate it. And then somebody else says, oh, well, that doesn't sound like mine. And then you measure theirs and it's totally different. So it's not so hard to reproduce analog stuff in the digital world. It's just that it's hard to reproduce analog stuff in the analog world. Anyway, let's stop rambling here.
Here's an example of the hardware sound. It's when your drum tracks start first, then your backline and vocals join in slightly later when the second ADAT syncs up. Yeah. Oh, were you not referring to budget 90s digital hardware?
Yeah, so see, and that's the thing, like, there's a reason we went to digital stuff, and it's not because the analog stuff sounded so great. If we wanted reliability, we wanted predictability, we wanted consistency, we wanted to know what's going to happen. And I don't know if you ever had over at the Spam Mansion, Jordy Hormel had, I think he had the first, I know Jeff Harris set this up. He had like 16 ADATs, and like you hit play and you waited for a while before they were all synced up. And, you know, but I you know, he's being sarcastic, and yeah, that's not the hardware sound anybody's talking about, but it really shows what it was like having a shoe next to your console for smacking it when you had one of those $1 million consoles, when you had a Neve 80 series, you know, or, you know, honestly, you know, the SSLs would go, yeah, they tend to be a little bit more reliable, but you still might want that shoe.
I guess you meant analog hardware. Okay, so how about the loud clunk sound that appears on all the tracks of the quarter-inch tape when the owner of the cheapest demo studio in town turns on the T-shirt printing machine in the next room?
Yeah.
Stop being facetious, Dan, I hear you say. Obviously, I mean high-end vintage analog gear like Neve consoles and Fairchild compressors. So, I present to you dirty patch bays, scratchy, dirty pots and faders, and random...
1 second. Okay, sorry.
Bursts of RF noise that disappear again before you can figure out which channel they're on.
Yep.
Possibly the scratchiest, gnarliest pot I ever encountered was on a Fairchild 660 at Abbey Road. Of course.
You know, living in Hawaii, the kids always bringing these guitars that are they'll be super scratchy. I don't want to emulate that. In fact, if you look at my guitar wiring, I do have a volume pot, but it's on a push-pull. And if it's pushed in like the normal position, I don't actually have a volume pot. It's my pickup goes straight to the output. It's only when you pull it up, then it turns into a volume pot.
When you're at Abbey Road, you can just shout for a technician to bring you another one. But still, here's a question for you. Pick a random current pop song from your favourite streaming service and tell me if it was mixed on a console or in the box or with a hybrid mix of digital and analogue. What, you can't do that?
Nope.
So what exactly is this hardware analogue sound you're referring to? Here's what I think. Over roughly a century of recorded music, on a few rare occasions, the stars aligned and blessed a recording session.
Man, this is scary. Dan's sounding like one of us. Not that I ever doubted. He never really pushed any of the weird magical junk. Like when he did his, like you should really watch as much of a dig as it is on me. What's wrong with stock compressors? And this guy knows his stuff. It's pretty amazing, actually.
The songs were good. The arrangements were good. The musicians were cooking. The engineers knew their shit. The producers knew what to ask for. Over the course of decades, the results of those rare sessions have become shared cultural property, while all the crappy and forgettable recordings made in the same studios around the same time quickly got forgotten.
Yep. So this is like he's saying. So we're just looking at logical fallacy after logical fallacy, right? There's the confirmation bias, Texas sharpshooter fallacy. You know, I like to say, if you release Dark Side of the Moon today, the way it sounds exactly how it was before any of these remasters or whatever, you just get laughed off the planet. In fact, even with the remasters, had they not had that legacy, and it was just a new band putting the stuff out today, I don't think it'd even get a second look. It's not about, it wasn't about the magic analog hardware mud whatever that made this songs magical. They just happened to be really good songs that were hits, and they were pushed hard enough that they broke. And if you recorded them on a Mackie with an ADAT, they would just still be just as big of hits as they were.
Forgotten. Furthermore, when a recording becomes culturally iconic, it kind of doesn't have flaws anymore. They become features instead. I'm going to drop a couple of hot takes here. John Bonham's drums needed more welly down at 50 hertz. Bite me. The horns in Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke are too thin and too dry. Sorry, facts don't care about your feelings. So anyway, the way to achieve the hardware/analog sound you refer to is to write and record an absolute banger, make sure it's hugely successful and preferably comes to define an entire cultural era. Then, decades later, when you're being interviewed about it in your swimming pool full of champagne, tell them you used hardware.
Yeah, so from my life, I can't tell you how many times I've read in a guitar magazine or whatever during the 90s, albums I worked on, where I won't even say this, where the people who played on them were like, we didn't do any overdubs. We weren't, no headphones. We were all in the same room and just played. That's all the live takes, man. And I'm like, okay, never mind the stuff that I actually played the guitar on, because you couldn't, or you didn't, you wouldn't. I'm trying not to get in trouble here, but I definitely played those parts sitting in the control room. I can't. There's a couple examples of things that where a live, everybody kind of playing in the same general area, or at least in the same studio at the same time, even if they're in separate ISO booths or sometimes the same, where that some of those parts actually made it onto the end mix. And I'm not just talking about the drums. Of course, the drums fit in there usually. Well, sometimes the drums fit in that, of course, but there were times where there was a guitar that did make it in there. But it's funny, those bands never made that claim. That's wow, that's kind of funny to think about. I'm trying to think of examples, but it was rare. But the times where you're talking in these magazines, no, there were walls of guitars. They were all recorded from the control room, or every once in a while they'd have some headphones in for a part where they need to push their guitar into their amp for feedback. But usually we could do that in the control room as well. Yeah, it's just a bunch of nonsense. All right. What defines a good emulation for you? Well, that's a good question. Is the priority to reproduce the sound faithfully, expand the possibilities of the hardware, or something else? I just say yes. Yes. It's all of that. What defines a good emulation for you? To me, if it actually could be nulled against the original unit. And the priority is to reproduce the sound faithfully, but in the upcoming Helix Stadium, they have this hype knob or whatever that is supposed to switch between the ideal, I think, the ideal reproduction and what you think it's going to be reproduction, something like that. But yeah, like let's say your noise gate can only do 30 dB of reduction, and you accurately model that noise gate perfectly. I don't know why you'd want to model an analog noise gate, but never mind. But you could make it still exactly the same, but if you wanted more reduction, let's say you go down to 60, you could do that. That's actually something really cool. So I think it's a really important question here.
Defines a good emulation for you? Is the priority to reproduce the sound faithfully, expand the possibilities of the hardware, or something else?
A resizable interface. My eyesight is deteriorating.
Yes.
Now I've passed the big 5-0. It helps if I can make the GUI bigger. Better that than my ears deteriorating, I suppose. Also, I want intelligent ways to mitigate the fact that I'm only able to turn one knob at a time. That might mean auto gain options that weren't on the originals to reflect the fact that I can't twist an input gain and an output gain simultaneously. Finally, if it has significant nonlinearities that aren't inherent to the intended effect, I want a way to control how much of it I get.
Yeah, noise, hum, ripple, all that stuff you see in, again, like the Helix amps. You can just turn those off. Nice.
I don't hold with this sweet spot gain staging nonsense. I gain stage in such a way that my faders are still close to unity when I'm at the final stages of the mix, so that I can more easily make my final half dB tweaks. I don't want to have to mess that up just to get one plugin to overdrive nicely.
Yes. We don't really have too much of that problem with plugins, but you think about how many magical mic preamps are supposed to distort or something in some super pleasing way that don't have output trims. So the only real way to use them is to like stick another device in between to turn them down, if you really want to get that gain cranked up.
Usefulness isn't something I worry about too much. I can't check it unless I have the exact same unit they modeled, and even then it might have aged further since they measured it.
Right. So that's like with all the vintage mics, right? They're like, well, that mic you made, that's an exact reproduction. It doesn't sound anything like my vintage mic. It's like, well, yeah, your vintage mic capsule is dead and floppy, and parts have been replaced over and over and over again. Who knows what values are in there?
I want it to sound good and be easy to dial in. Accuracy does matter in one respect, though. It needs to be the same kind of flavour of sound as the hardware it's modelling. Let's consider the total space of all possible compressor algorithms. That's a vast space. Maybe it's infinite. I'm not sure about that. Intuitively, I feel like if you travel far enough in any direction, you'll eventually get to something that can't really be described as compression anymore. So maybe it's theoretically infinite, but practically finite, like a Minecraft world. Anyway, a compressor plugin that allowed you to explore all of that space would be unimaginably complex. Maybe it would need infinite controls to...
We tried to come very close with intuition, but yeah, he's right.
Cover the infinity of program dependency options. Even if it were possible to make one with finite controls, using it would be incredibly difficult. How would you go about dialing in a nice FET-style smack for your drums? Well, the practical answer is you delete that plugin and load up an 1176 emulation instead. When you do that, you're making a decision to explore only that relatively small portion of the total space of all possible compressor algorithms that contains FET-style SMAC, because you already know that's what you want. And the knobs on that 1176 give you fine control over that SMAC. None of them are going to shoot you light years in the wrong direction in compressor space. You're safely contained within a little FET-style boundary where you know what to expect. In that respect, I think analog emulation is valid and useful. A recognizable interface style is a good shorthand to tell the engineer what type of behavior to expect. It starts to irritate me when the plugin slavishly models aspects that simply don't make sense in a plugin context, like calibrating knobs in dBu instead of dBFS.
Have you noticed major progress in analog emulations recently? Do you think marketing around plugins tends to make people overestimate how much these tools can improve their mixes?
Yes and yes. Yes, no, and yes. Some of the emulations are pretty crazy spot on quite a long time ago. Some of them, watch these amplifier modeler guys, they really get down in the nitty gritty. Do you think marketing around plugins tends to make people overestimate how much these tools can improve in their mixes? Yes, just like any product they're trying to sell you.
And I think non-linear saturating filters have got better over the last few years, and that's actually been something I found quite valuable. But for the most part, it's just marketing. It's possible to mix entirely in the box using only your stock plugins.
And has been for a very, very long time.
And achieve the results that's better than all your references from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yep.
You just might have to wait a decade or two before people start to acknowledge it. We live in a capitalist society, surrounded by marketing, and we need to learn to be appropriately skeptical. Buying a Strat and a vintage Fuzzface won't turn you into Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
Expensive golf clubs won't turn you into Tiger Woods. That skin cream probably won't take 20 years off you. Buying an SSL won't turn you into CLA. That said, though, what we do is a creative endeavour, and it's absolutely okay to use a piece of gear just because you like it. If your dental practice is doing well and you can afford it, go ahead and buy a custom shop Strat that you can barely play.
Why does everybody pick on the dentists? Was it like Paul Reed Smith or dentist guitars or whatever?
If you're a hobbyist and you can...
Listen, I'm a BMXer, man. Dentists are the very most important people to us. All these fake teeth, man. This is, yeah, don't be clowning on the dentists.
Spare the money. Why not splurge on analog hardware that just feels good to use? Plenty of amateur golfers buy expensive clubs. And if you're a pro, spending money so you enjoy your work more makes total sense, even if your clients can't tell any difference. At the end of the day, though, training your ears to set a good balance and make good use of EQ is pretty much all that matters. And don't let the gas ever tell you otherwise. That's all. Thanks for watching.
All right. Well, that was a cool video. I like I say. Go watch Dan's older videos. Let's see if they're listed on here. Oh, wow. Dan's been busy, man. Look, see all this Reaper stuff. Mixed feedback. Wow. That's all members only stuff. Where is it? Yeah, see, he talks about null testing. Why Reaper is the best for mixing. Man, you're going to get us in trouble. Yeah, why does it null with re-EQ? So, man, there's some great stuff on here. Let's see. But you go way back there, there's some stuff about problem with stock. Yeah, what's wrong with stock EQ or stock plugins? And here's recomp. So you want to see a real clown on me, go watch that video right there. All right, let's see what I got for mixing. Let's see who's left. Okay, we did this Dead Night last night. Blues Night 917. I think I already did that, right? Let me just check real quick. videos and finals. Oh, wait, I gotta look at. Sorry. Yeah, 917 I got, 926. So those two are done. I'm deleting these, 926 and 917. You guys are gone. All right. You know, not that I owe anybody keeping any of this stuff anyway, but I try. But this is just something I do, and it's not like anybody. Some people have like tipped me for this, but it's not something that I'm required to do. It's something that actually takes a lot of time from my life. So yeah, if I tell you if you want your stuff, let me know, because I can't keep it for too long. I only have so much space. Hey, it was dry yesterday, which was good. Crazy waves down a sandy beach, which I did not go in, but we rode the dirt jumps yesterday, and it was hot and dry as usual. How's it over there? I'm just so jealous. I keep watching these videos where people are, out in the wilderness looking for snakes and lizards and stuff. And one of the guys from that goes to Arizona a lot, he's been going to Australia a lot in a channel called My Wild Backyard, and he's been showing some really cool stuff over there. Really cool seeing bearded dragons in their natural habitat, man. That's interesting. They look like wise old men of the desert. Okay, so I have the Pauhana Blues Band. I might have them tonight, actually. Like, I can't believe that yesterday's mixes were a month ago, the recordings. Like, I'm so far behind. Oh, heating up. Okay. Well, yes, it's just funny how easily the Australians would integrate into the Arizona wilderness. I think there's plenty less. There's less types of snakes that'll kill you as quickly in Arizona than Australia, and less types of spiders that will kill you as quickly. I think the plants and the terrain, though, like that's kind of a mixed bag. But yeah, you guys got the heat. We got the heat. We understand each other. Okay. So what do I got here? No 23 and 24. No 2019. No 18. No 13 and 14. Wow, this is a lot less junk. I think I need to make a new trigger template. Oh, no second crash. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let me throw the video file in here. Actually, see, not being safe. Save this as something else right away. Don't be an epic fail. Okay. Disarm everything. Take away the hardware outputs. I might just take that. No, I'm gonna leave that in there. Okay, so this is gonna be the video. I don't know what song I should be doing. I'm not, I already did one of this band. I might have them again tonight. I'm not really sure that I want to be doing a video. I don't even know if I want to do this mix, but these guys are cool, and I'll give it a try. So let me see what's going on. I seem to have two different videos here. Let's see. View video file. That's definitely them. Okay. I wonder why the video is so long. Oh, so there was a sound check or a break. Not sure which. This might be tricky to find. Okay, so I think this is when they go on, actually. Let's see. While I'm waiting for this thing, I'm going to just make my folders. Symbols. Bass. Do we have two guitars? I don't think so. One of them might be a harmonica. Let me see. What's this now? Yeah, see, that's harmonica. So this one's guitar. I don't know if they all sing. We'll see. And I got to figure out what song I did last time so I don't do the same song. At the very least. Make a crowd folder. Don't remember if they had a really big crowd. There was another blues band that, man, if these two guys would play together, it'd actually be really good. That would make for a good night. Who was that? That was, I think I just recorded them. Yeah, James Ronstadt. That would be a good match, I think. I think these guys would really play well together. Next month, my drummer's blues band is going to be playing there, opening for the blues night. Live underground for 6 months to avoid the heat. I remember some times. I've been plenty of times walking around the desert and thinking if somebody offered me a cup of water for my car, I'd give them my car. You know that one. Scary stuff. I used to get myself into so much trouble, but I just really wanted to see stuff. Okay, well, I guess while I'm waiting to get these routing figured out. Receive some all tracks. I don't have all that much time today. I don't think I'm going to be getting into my birthday show, sadly. Okay, wait. Don't need any of this. Okay, so I want the bass, guitar, harmonica. I want the vocal folder, but not the individual tracks. And I want the crowd folder. Wait, what just happened to the crowd folder? Why don't I see the crowd folder? Why isn't channel 18 showing up on here? This is bizarre. Oh, man, I just totally messed up. You guys see that? And you said, hey, Morno, what are you doing? Yeah, I just, that's why I didn't see the crowd folder. I got to put a new track in that is my RMS meter. I was assuming it was already there. That was silly. Okay, here we go. Oops. Bass, guitar, harmonica. I want the vocal folder, but not the vocal tracks. I want the crowd folder, but not the crowd tracks. Okay. And I think that video's done building his peaks. I'm actually talking to Justin right now about why my peaks disappear. All right. Okay. Yeah, this is dynamic EQ, so I'm going to make a high pass filter. Like 250-ish. And I know I'm bumping things with this extreme EQ filter here. But sue me. So the symbols, and I'm going to put that up way higher. Like 650-ish. Okay. Okay, let's try and so that's like the end.
No, I ain't gonna be treated this way no more, mama. This way.
You know what? I might just use this last song. I'm trying to remember what one we did last time. Maybe I'll look. I think this is gonna be right-ish. Let's see. Gonna turn everything down a bit. I think that's right. Maybe a tiny bit ahead. I think that's right. Okay, let's start getting some levels here. Let's say we're doing this last one. Okay, never mind. Let me find what the last one I did was, so I don't do the same one. Pauhana Blues Band.
I called my woman. She said she's fine being alone. Just a poor boy on the highway trying to fly.
Okay. It's not this song. I really like doing the Hana Hose, man, because you hear everybody chanting for the band to get back on stage. But it has to be a pretty big crowd to make it work. It's funny, we have, I think that's a Grateful Dead song, and we have like these blues bands playing Grateful Dead songs, then we have the Grateful Dead band playing Rascal songs, and who knows. Let me see. Oh yeah, there were some crazy dancers there that night. Let's just do this last one. Bummer the dancers aren't flying around from the stage here, but I'm gonna use this one. Sue me. All right, let's hear these. Let's get some levels. Okay, so 5 on this kick. Okay. Snares getting 3. Check some toms. Okay. 9 for this guy. And 5 for this guy. Okay, so the cymbals, I'm going to do them one at a time. That's fine. Hi-hat. Okay, so that's going to be so bad. 16? Yep, okay. Ride. Let's try 29, 28. Oh, 24 is as high as I can go. All right. What am I going to do for that? I'm going to, because I'm going to throw a compressor on here anyway. How far do I need to go? 5 dB more. So I'm going to drop this 5 dB on the threshold. And I'm going to do a makeup gain of 5 dB. And that should... Okay. I'm actually going to put that same compressor on all these tracks eventually. Let me see this crash now. So that, again, I need a pile of gain. Okay, so I'm going to drop the threshold by 3. So it's going to be minus 18. And I'm going to add 3 dB of makeup gain. And should be good for the drums. Now we're going to move on to RMS levels. That's just about right. 17.8 compared to 18. Let's check this guitar. I'm going to raise this by 6. And somehow I'm going to make this thing stereo. We'll figure that out in a second. 5. Okay. Now let's see which vocals are actually on here. They might not all sing. Looks like first vocals is not there at all. Yeah, that's about right. Let's go up one. Oh, I'm being dumb. Sorry. Let me try that again.
Standing at the crossroad, fell down on my knees. Well, I pray to the Lord above. Lord,
Yeah, no, that's right.
mercy if you-
Let's try the other vocal.
On a ever-bound train, I wish there was a headlight. On a ever-bound train.
Okay, that should be good. So crowd, let's see. Crowd is pretty quiet, sadly. I'm also hearing my reverb. Pull these guys up by 20 and see where we are at. Well, that'll do. Okay, so here we go. Press around the master bus. I don't know how much I'm so used to mixing into this thing, but I don't know how much I really need to do that. I'm probably going to get rid of the high passes. I'll be giving another. Be doing on each channel anyway. MQQ. Probably gonna have a reverb up here. Maybe not. Make a plate track right now. Yeah, I know I should have a mixing template since I do pretty much the same thing every time. One of these days. One of these days. Put my shelled preset on here. Live drum shells default. That's my my effects chain, and my multiband gate, intuition, dynamic EQ, and exciter all put on, ready to go. Tomorrow is the start of the Aloha Jam. I won't be that day because I need to go see a knee surgeon, hopefully. But I should be probably riding tomorrow anyway, after seeing the knee surgeon, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so let's check out these drums. I resoldered my headphones so that they're actually left is left now. Oops. That does not sound like Slayer. I hear some rattling, and I got to tune. I'm going to tune those toms tonight. I hate it. I tune them, I get it all perfect, and then an expert comes up and just completely retunes them to garbage every time. that right? Very tempted to trigger that guy, but let's not for a second. Let's just see where we are with everything. Okay. I'm fixing that thing tonight, and I'm triggering it right now. Get rid of all this stuff. Sorry, that is too barf. 16. Yeah, let me go 16. I just keep going back to this Chris Lord algae one. I know it's not ideal, but it seems to work for most of this. Okay, so I want to unpan these since I'm going to be triggering them. And I'm going to flip the outputs because this is done from drummer's perspective on the plugin itself. Turn all these off. This is going to go trigger. This is going to be Tom 10. Yes. You guys see when I do this stuff, so much of it is in the it's in the prep phase, getting all that gain staging right and stuff. It's most of it. Like after that, it kind of speeds up pretty good. I'll fix that. Hold on. That's actually one of my presets for my my Dio tribute band, and it has to pitch half a step down, so That's why it sounded weird. I'll get this. Sorry, let me get rid of that. All right. Okay. I want to make it stereo. So he has pretty much all the... I don't know if I really need to add anything to it. Just maybe I'm going to put a compressor and a reverb on here just in case. But I could just do another stereo thingamabob like that. That's actually cool. Yeah, why don't I do that? Compressor, just in case. We get a different chorus. So one of these ones, it's only going to be on one side is the chorus effect. So I'm just going to, oops, shoot. I think that I'm okay with this one just by putting it on there. I think one side is, well, let's just see. Hold on. I don't know. That doesn't sound very stereo. Let's see. Wow, I lose a lot of there's a lot of the actual tone that way. See what this one does.
The weather's nice and warm. Yeah. Going where the weather suits my clothes, suits my clothes. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the water tastes like wine.
Go where the
Going down the road, feeling bad.
Anybody hear Mr. Mackey there? I can't help it. Feeling bad, okay? Feeling bad, okay? Okay.
Going down the road, feeling bad.
Going on the road, feeling bad.
Going down the road, feeling bad, feeling bad. I ain't gonna be treated this way.
Okay, I think I need to hammer on his vocals a little bit more. I find myself doing that live too.
Going down the road, feeling bad, feeling bad. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Go where the weather suits my clothes. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Going where the weather suits my clothes, suits my clothes. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. I already. All right, I think we're done.
No.
All right, I think we're done.
Okay, so I'm gonna be faded out by now. Figure out where I'm fading in. Get this stuff figured. Master track.
Here we go, one more time. All right, thank you. Here we go, one more time.
One of these days I'll get the hang of this.
All right, thank you. Here we go, one more time.
Wow, well who's that bouncing out of control? Alright, let me sorry, but take some of that mud out.
All right, thank you.
Could be on the bass too. We'll see. Oh no, that's better. Okay.
Going down the road, feeling bad. we're done. I think we're done.
All right. Okay, it's gonna get loud. Gonna get loud. I'm warning you, it's gonna get a little loud. Alright, I hear a couple clicks I don't like, and I am way too... So I just use an ozone here, and really it's just a maximizer. I don't like what's happening to the kick drum.
I'm going down a road, feeling bad.
What is all that clicking and popping? What's going on here? That's something bonkers going on.
I'm going down a road, feeling bad. Yeah, I'm going down a road. I'm also feeling sad. Going down the road, feeling bad, feeling sad. Gonna be treated this way. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I ain't gonna be treated. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Go where the weather suits my clothes. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Suits my clothes. I ain't gonna be treated. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Suits my clothes. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Alright, thank you. Thank you.
Alright, I think that's about it. I'm going to render this send this off and get ready for the show tonight, which I think might actually have this band. It's going to be Clay's live blues jam thing. But I think Pauhana Blues Band might be opening up for it. So I will I'll see you guys later. Thanks for the video suggestion, Matty Boy. That was Matty Two Hats. I mean, not Matty Boy. What? Who's Matty Boy? Matty Two Hats. That Dan Worrall video is cool. All right, I'll see you guys later. I got so many questions for you about my pedal board, but